What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Good Success Podcast. I am your host, Josh Culler, and today is another Facebook Live interview with one of our mastermind members, like one of our newest ones. So he actually joined back in February at the February Mastermind, and we were so happy to have him on board with that, and definitely brought a lot of value to the room. Dewey, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Good, gents. How you doing?
Awesome. So we're going to come back around to him after we talk a little bit about some events that are coming on, and then we'll have him introduce himself, and then we'll get right into the podcast. I'm excited about this one. We've got a couple of topics we're actually going to talk about that we haven't talked about on this show. So Dewey's going to be able to provide a lot of value there. So first thing is our mastermind. Our May mastermind is coming up May 9, 10, and 11. It is going to be in Chicago. Dewey, you're going to be there, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. So that's good to hear, because it's always good to hear that our members are coming, right? So
I think we're going to have a really good turnout this time.
It's going to be a really good turnout.
I think all the members are supposed to be there as far as I know right now.
Awesome. We're super excited about that. We're going to be doing some things a little bit differently. We're going to be doing adding a couple things to make the experience more interactive and more fun and more good success-ish. So we're excited about that. So goodsuccess.com/mastermind. You can check it out there. We do have everybody fill out an application that is interested in coming. We don't just vet your numbers, but also who you are as a person. If you're a giver, if you have, if you take advantage of stewardship, if you're all about community, that kind of thing. So you're going to get to hear Dewey talk in just a few minutes. And so he encompasses all those things that we want in our mastermind, and so does everybody else in our actual group. So goodsuccess.com/mastermind. Kevin's going to be linking everything below that we mentioned. So you guys check that out. May 9, 10, 11 is our next event. After that is August 9, 10, 11, and that is also in Chicago. So
it might be 7, 8, 9, but it's that same week.
It's that same week. So somewhere in there, we'll get the links below for you guys. The next thing is, this is the one that we're super pumped about, because this is our first event that we're doing for this. You guys have heard us talk about it several times. It's the Community Go-Giver event. We have a lot of big things going down, like a lot that are every week that we mention this, we actually have something new going on. And so we are super excited about this. This is all about helping you understand how to build your community. I'm going to have Tom talk about that in just a second. But we have a really good speaking lineup. We got Walter Walford coming, Jim Ingersoll, Jeffrey Taylor, Gary Harper, Ken Lacey. And then we have a few other, Sean Waddle is going to be there. And then we have a few others that are actually in the works right now that we're trying to nail down. But communitygogiver.com, you guys can sign up there. Tickets are going to go fast. We're already selling. We are already selling out, and we're only given 80 seats. 80 seats available. Yes. So you guys take advantage of it. It is well worth the money, like way underpriced for what you guys are going to be getting. It's going to be educational, just like straight education on everything that we're going to be talking about there.
Well, and not only that too. I mean, I think one of the biggest things you're going to get out of an event like that is the network. Because there's going to be 80 people there, and a lot of the people are people that loan money to me. A lot of the people are my turnkey buyers. So you have to understand, I'm also opening up to you. If you have turnkey opportunities, you have lending opportunities to network with my inner circle to a certain.
Why don't you continue that? So go ahead and talk a little bit more about it.
The Community Go-Giver event is 3 days. We pretty much have them lined out in 3 different segments. So the first day is going to be kind of talk about fix and flip. We're going to have Gary Harper talk about processes, because most of fix and flip is all about processes. And then we also have Josh Belk, who's confirmed. He's going to talk about accounting, some of the new accounting tax law that's come out recently.
I know it sounds boring, but trust me, Josh makes it.
You want to take advantage of the new of the new tax
makes
law.
It learnable.
The second day is going to be about our active turnkey and turnkey process, but then we also have what I think is probably one of the best property manager teachers in the country, which he doesn't even talk to his audience about teaching to property managers. But if you're a property manager and you haven't learned from Jeffrey Taylor, you need to. His stuff is way more valuable to you than it is to his public audience. He's amazing. Even our own property management team has learned a ton from Jeffrey Taylor. He's awesome. And then we're also going to talk the third day. We've got we're talking about low income. Walter Wolford's going to talk about that, also protecting yourself and your interests with trusts and keeping yourself hidden from public record. And then also we're going to bring in Quest IRA, and they're going to talk about investing tax-free and being able to build up your retirement. So each day is also going to have a Community Go-Giver spotlight. So the first day is going to be about me. I'm going to talk about Gary, Indiana, and what we're planning on starting to do with Gary, Indiana. I'm really excited about flipping Gary. The second day I haven't confirmed yet. I'm not going to even mention who's going to be there, but if
We're working on
if
that.
the person does confirm, I think you'll be really excited to see it. And the third day I have Ken Lacey from Veterans Path Up that's going to talk about what he's doing with Veterans Path Up as well. So, and then every day also we're going to have a we're going to go look at properties. We're going to go look at fix and flips the first day, turnkeys the second day, low income housing the third day, and we have 3 days: Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. We have a place, and we're going to have a great community networking event basically every single night. So you're going to be able to connect with each person. Also, every single day, something maybe you just talked about this week that we change is every single person that comes is going to get the opportunity to be able to selfishly say, this is what I'm here for. So if you're looking for lenders, you're looking for Monday, say it. If you're looking, a lot of guys are lenders. They're going to be coming. They're going to be saying, hey, I'm looking for places to be able to deploy my money. If you are looking to learn more, that's what it is. If you're just looking to network, that's what you want. So I think it's going to be a great event. I'm really excited about it. And I'm starting to think that we may have shot too low with capping it at 80 because I think we're going to sell out way too early. And next year we're already planning on 150. So anyways, it's going to be a really good event. I'm really excited about that. Something Josh forgot to talk about, the mastermind. This next mastermind, we're actually going to do Good Success Award. So we're going to start.
I didn't know if we wanted to talk about that.
And I'm super excited about that.
The cat's out of the bag.
Give out the Good Success Award for the person that we think most exemplifies what we think good success is. And then we're also going to do our first core value, which is charity. So which the person that we think most exemplifies that core value, charity, will be this quarter. And then next quarter, we'll go into stewardship. And the next quarter after that will be community and growth. So anyways, I'm super excited about it, as you guys can see. And I don't know, I let Josh do all the talking and blabbing, but I've been blabbing here. So
blabbing. No, it's
maybe
good
we
blabbing.
should get to talking to
good blabbing.
To Dewey.
We're going to get to Dewey in just a second after. So you guys, communitygogiver.com. It's going to have a link below for you guys to check it out. Go sign up. 80 seats available. It's going to sell out fast. Make sure you take advantage.
Well, there's not
of
80
that.
seats available still.
There's not. We're selling out at 80.
Yes.
There has been tickets
Limited
purchased,
seats.
So.
And something that's really cool that we have going on is I have a bunch of Airbnb nights that we're letting a lot of people stay, even get up more networking time and get to know somebody in a little bit more close way. I actually just did this with Walter at his event, and it was really cool. I think I got 2 lenders out of the people that actually stayed at my house, and got to really learn a lot from some veteran people. And to me, it was a blessing.
Super valuable. So you guys, definitely well worth the money. A lot of stuff's just going to be going down July 25, 26, 27. Don't miss out on it. CommunityGoGiver.com. Sign up below. So Dewey, let's go ahead and jump into it, man. Sorry for us, like Tom said, we were both blabbing the entire time, but definitely want to talk about that stuff. But now it's time to get to you. So if you could do us a little bit of a favor, and those of you, actually, if you are watching live right now, make sure you give these likes, and make sure you give big thumbs up, hearts, and whatever emojis are on Facebook where you can click it, and then also share this around.
Share it right now.
Share it around. We would love for you guys to get this out to our real estate investing community. And then also, if you don't know who we are, you're coming because you know Dewey. Welcome to Good Success. We're very appreciative of you guys watching this video and actually listening to the podcast. So, Dewey, for those of the people that are listening that are from our community that don't know who you are, can you do us a favor? Introduce yourself. Be selfish. Tell people who you are, what you do, and what you're good at, and then we'll go ahead and jump into the list of questions that we got here for the interview.
Okay, so my name is Nguyen. I've been a real estate investor since the end of 2001, 2012. I started off as a wholesaler, and then kind of moved into fix and flips. Yeah, so that's kind of a little bit what I'm doing. I'm trying to get more into buy and hold now, and that's not what I've been doing.
That's good. It's a lot more than you make it sound like, but
yeah, I'm not really good about speaking about myself, so I'm working on that.
That's okay. We'll lead you into these questions then, so you can talk about it. All right. So what we have here, we have a few different exit strategies that you're going to talk about. Maybe not specifically exit strategies, but the first thing is going to be starting in fix and flip. Now, Tom, this is nothing new to him, but a lot of our audience are people that are thinking about getting into real estate or have only done a couple deals and that kind of thing. And maybe they've only wholesaled, like you just said, that's how you started. and they're thinking about getting into fix and flip. So what is the best way to start getting into fix and flip and actually get that ball rolling and getting the cylinders firing? So obviously this is something that you wanted to talk about. So go ahead and answer that for us.
I think as far as getting into real estate, I mean, I think everybody should at least know how to wholesale. At least that's the easiest way I think is to get involved. You know, and wholesaling is just locking a property up in a contract with an assignable contract and then assigning the contract to another buyer or cash investor. So I think that's the easiest way. You know, nowadays with technology and all of that, I think it's a lot easier to build your buyer's list, to build your seller's list, and kind of do the marketing. You know, I looked on Facebook groups now, and you know, you can put one post out there that says, hey, I have properties in Central Florida, drop your name and email below, and I will see 150 emails of cash buyers, you know, ready to buy.
Wow.
So I think at that time, you know, when I started wholesaling, it was a little bit harder for me just getting started. I had a handful of investors that I just kind of catered to, so I knew what they were looking for, I knew what they were buying, and that's all I was going out to find was the properties for them. So I don't think you need a ton of investors, you know, that you need to cater to, but you need a good solid handful of ones that you can cater to. I think you can get really successful just doing that, at least to start off. So wholesaling, I think, is the best way to get involved. And then, you know, as far as the fix and flips, you know, right now I had to rely on a lot of wholesalers myself because I don't have as much time to market.
So you actually buy the houses from the wholesalers?
Correct. So I would be your cash buyer, you know. And so I've been buying a lot from wholesalers. But really, it's knowing your numbers. I mean, if you don't know your numbers, then the whole deal is screwed up, and that's where you're putting yourself up to a lot of risk. So I've been pretty good at knowing my numbers. You know, I've worked with another subcontractors through my deals of managing my projects to know, you know, about what I'm paying price per square foot for flooring, or you know, if I need cabinets, I kind of know what the price is going to be for that. I know what my ARVs are going to be, and that's the after repair value. And that to me is the most important number is the ARV. Because if you're wrong with that number there, then the whole deal is screwed up and all your numbers are off. So I think really learning how to pull comps in your area, you know, go out to look at properties is important. So you can kind of compare. You know, I don't buy any deal without seeing it first. I like to touch and feel the property.
So you actually go out and look at the properties, or you have somebody else go out and look?
Currently, I have myself going out. Eventually, I would like to have, you know, an acquisitions manager to go out there for me. I'm not at that level yet. I just went full time here in January, so I still go to every property myself and evaluate that way.
Okay.
So you talked about starting in wholesale, and the way, and I think you described it pretty well. Like I would describe maybe my acquisitions department. So, like, if you think about a business in itself, you can create a whole business out of just acquiring properties, because that's really all you're doing, right? I mean, you basically found buyers first, and they told you this was my criteria, and then your whole business model is basically just built on finding them properties, right?
Absolutely.
Right. So if you think about it, like that can be a whole business in itself, or that can just be part of your business. But if you're the one doing it all, then you can't do both. So in order for you to take this next jump, you've decided, well, I'm not going to do this piece as much anymore. I'm going to buy from wholesalers. But what I'm going to really focus on is I'm going to know my numbers. I'm going to know how much I need to spend, how much I can sell the property for. And as long as somebody else can still deliver me that product at that price, then it makes sense. Right. So it's awesome. I mean, so like, so in our businesses, every single department in our business has to have momentum. And Jeff Johnson was just talking about this as well. Like he would get to the point where he'd buy a house and then he'd spend all of his time on rehabbing the house, and then he'd go to get the house sold and closed, and then he'd get 2 or 3 done, and then he's like, holy crap, I got to go find another house again, you know? So it was like this, he learned that he had to get like somebody that was doing the acquisition for him, and then somebody that was closing the properties, and somebody that was rehabbing the properties. And so anyways, I think that's just a good lesson. And I think that it's good to see Dewey here, who he's not a beginner. I mean, he's been doing this for a while. He's made a good living doing this. He's a really good guy, knows what he's doing. But it's kind of at the beginning stages of building this larger empire that he's doing. So why don't we talk about some of those fix and flips that you've done? Have you done pretty well with those?
Yeah. I try to budget, again, knowing your numbers and what you're comfortable with making. A lot of newer investors right now are willing to make $10,000, $15,000, on a deal. I try to build in $30,000 or 70% of the ARV there for the profit. It's kind of where I try to land my numbers, and so far we've been pretty successful.
Good.
With that,
Awesome.
Yeah, so I know Tom has a strong opinion about making 15 grand on a flip.
No, I don't like that.
That's not good.
Yeah, I'll look at 100 deals and buy one.
So what's worse than making $15,000 on a flip is losing $15,000.
Yeah, that's true.
That's not good either.
So be vulnerable here. Did you start off doing deals that way? Were you making that much on a flip, or did you automatically know that, hey, I got to make a certain amount in order to make this work for me?
Well, when I started wholesaling, that's what kind of towards the end, or right there where the short sales are just kind of teeing off a little bit. But that's kind of how I started. I was buying a lot of short sales and flipping my short sales to other investors. But my assignment fees were anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. I mean, nowadays I pay wholesalers up to 25, for one property if the numbers work. So I think there's a lot more opportunity right now for wholesaling type of properties. But yeah, I was willing to make $2,000 to $5,000 per flip. I think my first rehab, I made $16,000 on that project, but that was me doing all of the work as well. I didn't have the money to hire any subs or anything like that. So I was hanging cabinets, on one shoulder of my hand, around just doing everything myself, learning how to texture walls, paint, everything. Just learning on my own, man. So that was a neat experience. I don't think that was for me to continue to do that. And I'm definitely liking the systems I have now, at least in place with my contractors that I use.
What's good about doing it yourself a couple of times is what it actually takes. So number one, when the guys are like telling you this is what it's going to take, and you're like, okay, I understand. So you helps you understand the contractor. On the flip side, when somebody's BSing you and they're like, this is going to take me 16 hours to hang these 5 cabinets. And you're like, no, it's not. So it's kind of good on both sides. I mean, I started in construction. I've been in construction since I was 12 years old. So, knowing when a contractor is really telling the truth or not is very valuable. And having a good contractor is a really valuable resource too. So knowing the mindset of the contractor, I think, is really important.
So starting off, you're saying that you're hanging cabinets and you're actually doing the work there. So what was probably the breaking point for you to actually, because I assume you're not hanging cabinets anymore, right?
No.
Okay. So transitioning to that period where now, so at first you were actually doing the work at the houses. Now you're not. What's the transition period look like for somebody that's thinking about getting into fix and flipping, and maybe they are, per se, hanging drywall and putting up cabinets and stuff like that?
When I sat back and kind of looked at, everything, at the time when I got back, because I did take off 2015 to kind of focus on my career, my 9 to 5. So when I got back into real estate in 2016, I kind of just jumped right into fix and flips. And, it really was just time. I didn't have the time to do it anymore. I was working, I was coaching at my gym. I was trying to do real estate on the side. I still had an embroidery machine at the time. So I was working basically 4 jobs every single day when I first started back in there. So it was tough. So I learned really quickly that working nights and weekends on, a rehab project, it didn't make any sense. So I had to focus more on, finding the properties, which was kind of more what I was used to in the beginning and kind of what I was better at. And that kind of, that's where my focus needs to be, not putting up cabinets and doing tile and all of that. Because you don't save much money doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's how much is your time worth?
Right.
So how much is your time actually worth? And if your time is only worth $10 an hour to you, or $15 an hour to you, or $25 maybe, then maybe that's what you should be doing. If it's worth more than that to you, then maybe you shouldn't be doing that.
Right. So now, total involvement, I may have 10 hours in the whole project, from start to finish, and my actual involved time, it's not very much.
Gotcha. Awesome. All right. So moving on to the next thing that we got here. So this is a complete different direction that we're going to go. So when I asked you what things you felt comfortable talking about, one of the things that you said was structuring creative JV deals on the rehabs. So can you elaborate on that a little bit more and then talk about how you actually utilize that?
Yeah, so when I first started back in 2016 and then jumped right into rehabs, I didn't have a ton of money. I was just trying to rebuild because I lost everything back in 2012. In a dry cleaner for 10 years, sold out, thought I was a big shot out of his money and ventured to all these different things. And all the businesses I ventured into failed. So 2012, I kind of just did a reset and started over. So when I started back in 2016, I had to get really creative, and finding ways to fund the project, fund the rehab, fund all these different things because I didn't have the money, I didn't have the credit to do it. So I leveraged a lot my Lowe's card, you can pay 6 months interest free. So I was buying material that way. But the different structures that I was doing, I was finding somebody to fund the full project, full renovation, purchase price, and I would give up half of the partnership or 50%. I would find rehab partners to where they would fund, my subcontractors I use now. I actually partner up with them, and they would fund their labor, so they don't get paid on their labor. They would fund, all the material costs and all that, and I just purchased the property. So you just gotta get creative in those types of ways to make the deal work. If you don't have the cash, you just gotta create ways to get it.
Now, how do you do that?
How do you do that?
Yeah.
Well, you have trusting friends and family.
So it's networking.
It's networking.
All right, that's the common denominator for every person we interview.
Yeah, it's networking. I've been really bad at networking. I finally made a conscious decision this past year that the only way I can scale my business or to grow is to network. And so I'm naturally a shy guy. I don't really like to talk about myself. I don't really put myself out there. So networking for me is kind of tough. But I think you grow the most when you put yourself in those uncomfortable situations. And that's what I decided to do this past year. And I've been getting out there trying to go to all these PCRIA meetings and, all that, these little mastermind groups. And that's why I'm thankful for the Good Success group, which, you guys have given me, it just opened up my mind to all the gaps and everything that I'm missing in my business, and not only the business, but personal life as well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's one of the things that Jeff Johnson, from North Carolina, he actually said when we were on a podcast with him a few weeks ago, is that he is in the same boat when it came to networking, as he wasn't comfortable with doing it at first because he's typically not like an extrovert when it comes to, talking to people, especially that he doesn't know, more importantly, but people that are in his industry that he needs to network with. He felt like the little guy and he couldn't bring value. But what he said was at the end of the day, he just had to focus on what value, they're going to bring to him, but also just listen to people and just talk to them and go out of your way, be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So end all be all, that's what it comes down to, is if you really are in the position where you're just maybe not good at networking, but you're just not comfortable with it yet, then just do it. Just go, don't even think about it, and start getting comfortable with being uncomfortable. And then you're going to start creating these relationships, because I'm sure that's what happened with these JV deals, is that you created these awesome relationships with people that, you wouldn't have if you didn't come out of your shell, essentially. So,
yeah, I think another part of this is people don't realize how much a part of communication listening is. And you don't have to go out there and talk to anybody. You can just kind of hang around and just listen, and people take that to heart, if you'll just listen to them. So especially sometimes the older veterans, I love listening to the guys that have been doing real estate for 30, 40, 50 years and learn through all of the mistakes that they made.
They've been through two or three cycles.
Right.
Already.
So I love just listening. And sometimes that's all they want. They just want somebody to listen to them, and they'll just teach you so much stuff if you'll just sit there and listen to them. So you don't have to be a good networker or a good communicator, speech wise, to be able to network. You really can network by just asking a couple simple questions and being heartfelt and vulnerable yourself, and just, asking for answers, and you'll be shocked at what people will tell you.
So is there anything else that you want to elaborate on when it comes to the JV deals? I mean, so JV, just by the way, does not stand for junior varsity. We had that question on one of our feeds a couple feeds ago. So yeah. So is there anything else that you want to elaborate on when it comes to the structuring creative JV deals?
Really just doing what you say you're going to do is just, I think, the main key. I try to, under promise and over deliver on everything that I do. So even when I run my numbers, I try to, over project, the rehab and all that. And I've been successful doing that, but really just working hard. I mean, all the people that are currently JVing with me know my work ethic. They know I bust my hump, and I try to work with integrity. I try to do what I say I'm going to do every single time. And I think that's really important to build those relationships. I mean,
absolutely.
If you can't trust your partner, then who can you trust? So that's kind of, and also JVing on wholesale deals. A lot of if you can build a good cash buyers list, a lot of these wholesalers will co-wholesale a deal with you, and you can make a couple of grand just because you have a buyers list. So I mean, there's just so many ways to make money in real estate. There's a lot of different ways to structure JV deals, but just do what you say you're going to do is probably the key.
Awesome. So one thing that you mentioned actually previously on our last question that we asked, and then you just mentioned right now, is buyers list. So you talked about how so it looks like you have a pretty decent following on Facebook, and you're involved in a lot of groups, you said, on Facebook. So maybe it's not specifically Facebook, but utilizing technology like as a whole, what has been like the best? And I didn't have this question written down, but I assume you know it off the top of your head. But what's been like the best result as for building a buyer's list when it comes down to it? Like that's a whole nother topic, is building a buyer's list. But for you utilizing technology, what's been the best route for you to actually build your buyer's list, and then obviously cultivating those relationships that you create?
Well, for me, I think Facebook. I mean, I think you can get free content out there, and it's just so easy to build that list. I don't wholesale a lot anymore. I'm at the point where if I do find my own properties, I just usually keep them, unless I think I can wholesale it out and throw it back in the retail market. That's kind of what I prefer to do if I'm going to try to wholesale everything out. I prefer to throw it on the MLS. So my buyers list is the MLS, the retail buyer. But as far as Facebook, I think, I'm on so many different buyers lists because I'll see somebody post something in my area, and I'll just send them my email, and I get subscribed to their list. So I think that is the easiest way to get out there and build a buyer's list, is just do that. Or if you have a realtor that you work with, they can give you a list of all the cash buyers in your area that bought and sold property on the MLS.
Awesome.
So what is your favorite Facebook group that you get on for this kind of wholesaling or buying from wholesalers, or do you have a favorite?
I don't have a favorite. I'm in so many different ones, and I'm in so many different, I get on so many different lists. It's hard for me to pinpoint exactly which ones are selling me all the good deals. But I think even doing the Facebook Live stuff, I like to do a little walkthrough of properties that, I buy, or just kind of show people the projects. And I think just doing that, I get put on the preferred list of most of these wholesalers. So lots of times I'll get the deal before they send out to their big mass general list. I'll get the call first.
Well, here's the situation with that. I've seen your videos that you post, and the reason why it seems like you get good traction is because you're actually showing value before you're not just like posting a picture of the property and then listing all, the price, like, as bold as you possibly can. And then you're listing, obviously they want to see all the other credentials that comes with the property, but you actually walking through with yourself is very genuine. It's very, it's raw content and raw material, obviously, but you do a very good job with walking through the property and actually showing it, like almost like it's a virtual showing is what it is. And I think that's really creative to actually get through and do that. So especially if you're out there and you do, fix and flips, check out Dewey. We'll profile link below, but and just does a fantastic job with that. So I think that's really good. All right. So new construction. So this is something that you had told me that you were really interested in talking about as well. So getting creative with it. So can you elaborate on that just a little bit about new construction? Are you doing the new construction? You have new crews that are doing it, or are you doing JV deals with new construction, or What's the
Yeah,
situation?
I'm doing JV deals with new construction. Actually, my partner is a GC. So it's just me creating the deal and then him taking over after that point. So it's kind of worked out well. But what I'm kind of looking for recently here, and this has been working out awesome, is finding properties on land. The first deal that we did with this was a 100-year-old home, wood frame home on half an acre. But all around it was all new construction. So we were able to knock the house down, split the lots, and build new construction, and then kind of go that route. So that's kind of the deals I've been trying to look for more. We just acquired a property on 3.5 acres that we plan on doing the same thing. We're going to split up the land into 5 parcels, basically put the property up front to fund, spec homes. And we actually already have 3 lots pre-sold where they want us to build their property already, just from the Facebook Live that we did. So that kind of stuff right there is kind of what, more that I'm looking for. I think new construction is booming right now. And if you're having a hard time finding, the deals, fix and flip deals, and this might be a good little avenue to try. I wouldn't say go in it balls to walls and try to do 100 of them, but I'm gonna ride this wave as long as I can, and try not to get stuck with all these properties at the end of it. So I'm trying to scale slowly. I don't want to just go ahead first and build 20 houses right now, but that is something that I think it's been very beneficial, at least to me.
Yeah. So what's the market like where you're at? So you're in Winter Haven, Florida. So what is your market like when it comes to new builds? Is there a lot going on? Is there a lot of new builds because people are moving to that area, or what's the situation there?
Yes, our area, we have Legoland that came in, and we also have a lot of distribution centers like Amazon, Walmart distribution. So we have a lot of jobs here locally, and Amazon is building more facilities here locally. So Polk County, the county that I live in, is growing. So it is attracting a lot of people. People like to come here to retire. So you get the Northerners coming down. But it's just a great spot to live, and housing is affordable right now. It's not like the Tampa, Orlando market where you're paying $150 to $200 a square. Here you can still find a property around $100 a square. New construction around 125. So that's kind of what our market's looking like. I think it's going to keep growing here in the next year or so. It's started to plateau a little bit, but it's still climbing up.
Awesome. So you're there in Polk County. That actually jogged my memory, because now I remember that you're in there with Tim Davis. So yeah. Tim Davis, he was actually from the start when Good Success actually started. He was there at our very first event, joined the mastermind. He's been with us ever since. So this is a question I have listed down either for you. So are you doing stuff with him at all? I mean, obviously you guys talk a lot, but I mean, what's going on with that? Because where I'm going with this is the networking part of it, right? Back to that, creating relationships. So, I mean, what have you guys been up to down there?
I've been trying to have a lunch with him for the past month now. He's canceled on me the last 2 times. I guess he went on the cruise. And
you gotta get on it.
But I think I finally pinned him down here for tomorrow, actually. So,
awesome.
So I'll let you know after that. Hopefully we can do some deals together or try to help each other grow our businesses. But I think he has a really good business concept that he has, and I'd like to learn a little bit more about what he does, for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we gotta get Tim on our podcast pretty soon. So I actually texted him the other day. So
he has a contracting business too that might be able to work with you guys.
Yeah, cool. Absolutely. All right, so tailing it off here, just a couple of quick questions, and then we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. So these last 2 questions are questions I always ask everybody, because I always get different answers when it comes down to it. So what is in 2017 into the beginning of this year, what is the best thing that you have done for your business and implemented, whether it's processes, systems, some type of marketing, or some type of sales systems that you have? What is the best thing that you have implemented in the past year and a couple months?
It's not just to throw you guys out there, but I do think it's the Good Success Mastermind.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, that is a good answer.
That's the best answer we've had so far.
We didn't stage this, we promise.
Right. No, but you guys just have opened my eyes to so many different things that I'm missing. I don't have any systems or processes in place. That I know, Tom, you say I do, but I don't have any that where I can take myself out of the business. I'm the only person here. As far as I do everything from A to Z. I do it all. So, it's opened my eyes. I do need to try to streamline or automate the lead generation, the marketing, that type of stuff. I need to start pulling myself out so I can start focusing more on other things that actually benefit the business and grow the business. Right now, I can only do so much by myself. And in a personal life, I made, I guess you asked for the 3 things we need to work on for the next quarter. One of those things was spending more time with my family. I started missing T-ball games, my son's T-ball games, and it just broke my heart. So what I decided to do was just set aside 3 hours a night, just shut the phone off, which is extremely hard for me to do. Just shut the phone off for 3 hours a night and just spend time with them before they go to bed. Eat dinner with the family, and not looking at my phone, the whole time. And then also my prayer life. I love the way you guys are just so Christian oriented, and you guys praise God for everything that's happened to you. I think I've been going through all these trials, from losing everything and thinking I was getting out of the desert and then going right back into it. I think I had to go through all that because now I think I'm ready, to go to the promised land. I think God put me through all this just to get me ready. I don't think I would have been ready if this, all the success, or at least why, the success I've had recently would have been good if, it would happen sooner. So you guys have helped me out a lot, both in personal and business life and even spiritual life. I'm extremely grateful for you guys.
No, everybody, I actually just posted this morning on Facebook about that movie. And If I Could Only Imagine, I think it's called.
Yeah, something like that.
And it's so true. Like so many of us in life, like we try to fight where we came from, and we can try to fight all the stuff that we think is bad that happened to us. But we have to just find a way to turn around and face it and understand that we are here for a purpose, and we can't hit that purpose unless we go through what we have to go through. And it's once you realize that and embrace that, everything just you start looking at life and your business a completely different way. So I definitely appreciate, the applause for us, but I just think it's so true. And it's something that I'm super passionate about, is trying to get everybody to realize that you have a purpose, and what you're going through now is preparing you for that purpose. And it's just up to you whether you're going to hit your potential or not, and if you're going to actually do it or not. And I also love the fact, what's really important. We talked about that in the last mastermind, what's really important. Yes, your family is very important. Your business is important. All those things are important. You got to chunk out that time to be able to make sure you can get to all those things.
There's no secret sauce. You have to figure it out on your own.
No.
So figuring it out for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I like all that too. And in addition to that, embracing that. So a little bit off topic is that my mom actually she actually just had her 26th surgery in the last 19 years. So she's definitely a trooper, right? But the biggest thing is she embraces that. And she had breast cancer when I was in 6th grade, and stage 5, we thought we were going to lose her. But now she's actually turned around and taken all of those trials that she's had, and she helps people all the time, just try to get through that kind of stuff. And so I think embracing that, and not just, you helping yourself through that, and, realizing that you're stronger now, but now you can help other people that are going through those trials and struggles. So I think that's fantastic, is embracing it and then turning around and using that, being a conduit instead of a bucket. That's awesome. So
that's what good success is all about.
Absolutely.
So appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. So the last thing here. So if you, let's just say, so we have a few people that are on here probably that are thinking about getting into real estate investing, or maybe they just started or whatever. If you had one thing that you knew when you started in real estate investing, that you wish that you knew, that you know now. I don't know if that was confusing. I don't know if I worded that confusing. Do you get what I'm saying?
I'll pick it up now.
I kind of worded it weird, and I started off it, and I just had to go with it.
Started in 2015, right?
Right. So something that you didn't know then that you know now.
That you wish you knew then.
Yeah, that you could tell somebody that's getting into real estate. There you go.
Just that I could do it. I didn't have the confidence to go full time into real estate. That's why I held on to all these different side hustles, and I kept real estate as a side hustle instead of making it my primary focus. And it's really just having the confidence to do it, but just go out there and do it. don't lollygag, just jump in, go try wholesaling, it's very little risk. You don't have to spend a ton of money, go out there, job for dollars, but just do it. Don't be scared.
All right.
Yeah.
There it is.
Awesome.
Thank you, Dewey. I think that's going to do it for today's episode, guys. Dewey, we appreciate you being on and sharing all that stuff with us. I thought this was a very, very fantastic and valuable podcast. A lot of great information. Dewey, if somebody wanted to get a hold of you, whether it's email, phone, or website, or whatever it is, how would they be able to do that to, maybe ask you some questions if they wanted to?
You just want my information really cell phone, just text me. I don't always answer my phone because it blows up all day, but shoot me a text. I'll definitely get back to you.
Okay. And then do you have an email address that we could get, is that somebody could email you? That seems a little more civil. As opposed to
We buy houses at gmail.com.
All right, there you go. So we'll have that link below for you guys to check that out. So Dewey, thanks again for being on, and we look forward to having you back. We look forward to seeing you in May.
I have one more question.
Tom's got one more question.
All right. So Dewey, are you still doing 50-50 joint partnerships with your money lenders?
Not all of them.
Because if you are, I'm interested. So,
I definitely keep you involved in the next one.
If you want to overpay me, I'll let you if you really want me to. So I thought
I know you've been telling me I keep overpaying.
I thought we talked. So if you're lenders and you're listening to this, he's overpaying you. Just so you know. And I'm definitely willing to come in your place.
Tom will do 49%.
49%. Here, let's put it on the chopping block. Let's
I'll add you to the
do I hear $1? Do I hear $2? Let's auction it down here.
We just made it happen on the Good Success podcast just right now. Awesome stuff. So Dewey, again, thanks for being on, and we look forward to having you back and seeing you in May.
Yes.
See you later.
All right. So guys, the Community Go Giver event, we have all the links below. Make sure you check that out, communitygogiver.com. We have 80 seats available, not now, but that's what we're selling out at. And Tom talked about it a little bit at the beginning of the podcast, and we're going to bring all kinds of people into our actual office over here in Gary, Indiana. And one of Tom's visions and the company's visions is to actually flip the city of Gary. We're going to talk about steps that we're going to take to actually make that happen, and how you guys can take steps in your community to help it out and make it better. And then also our Good Success Mastermind that Dewey's a part of. I did mention that a couple times. Goodsuccess.com/mastermind. You guys can check out more information about it there. The next event is May 9, 10, and 11. And then we have our August event, 9, 10, and 11, that you guys can go to. We do have you fill out an application if you are interested. So please fill that out. We'll have a link below. That's going to do it for today's episode, guys. If you're not subscribed, make sure you are. We are on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, and SoundCloud. After this video is released, we will have it in the podcast format if you want to listen to it instead of watching the full video. Well, you've already
Something
watched
else
the full
too
video,
is I've actually had a lot of people tell me that they're not getting our emails. So we're actually going to link below a link where you can actually just click on there and actually start subscribing to our emails, because we're making a big push this next quarter to build that a little bit more and focus on that. But I've actually had 3 or 4 people last week tell me I'm not on your list. Can I get on your list? So we're going to make that available to you guys.
Glad you mentioned that. I forgot about that, Tom. So Kevin's going to have that link below, you guys. Make sure you click on that and then subscribe to our email list, and we'll make sure that we get you guys all kinds of content that we're pushing out. So thank you guys for watching. And remember, whether you're looking to survive, thrive, or matter, our goal is to provide the tools to reach your vision. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.